Hi you guys, this is Aqua Moonlight. Thank you so much for stopping by. So I am here to do a twin flame update reading. Okay, so there is a lot going on here, and I'm just going to say right before I even get started, this could be a triggering reading for some of you. You probably know, if you've been here on my channel, I'm not a fairy tale type of a reader here. I'm just going to tell you exactly what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is interesting because I feel like this is a lesson. This is a very, very big lesson for the feminines especially. So I'll just tell you like the theme here before I break this down to see if you resonate with this or not. It's obviously not going to be for everybody, of course. This is a general reading. There's a lot of twin flames out there. But if you do resonate with this type of energy, you might want to stay tuned. So what I'm getting over here for the feminine side especially, there is a very big boundary that's being put on the feminine side. And what this might be is that the masculines are thinking of reaching out, which they've been thinking about for a long time, I feel. They're having this maturity about the way that they're going about themselves, wanting to offer something, wanting to come forward here, because there is a lot of things under the surface that are being healed. But with that said, the feminines have this very overwhelming, actually, energy of setting boundaries and taking leaps of faith away. Okay, so I'm a believer that with twin flame relationships, they're definitely not just fairy tale relationships. They go through a lot of stuff. They go through a lot of triggering. So the fact that we have the devil here a couple of times, this is just a cycle that's been going on between you and your masculine. And what I'm getting with this energy, especially approaching the fall time here, is that there is a lot of, again, transformation going on the masculine side. And this has been something that they've been working on for a very long time. They're kind of dragging through the mud here. But I'm almost getting like this heaviness over here for the masculines. And I'm getting this light kind of moving forward energy for the feminines. The feminines are going to be in a brand new mindset. And this is going to be something where there's going to be a test. The roles are kind of reversing 360 here, I feel. Where there's transformation again going on for the masculines. And the feminines are going to have to make a decision on whether or not they want to let the masculines in. Okay, and from what it looks like here is that there's going to be this need to have an open communication, an open, vulnerable type of heart-to-heart type of a thing if the feminines are going to accept the masculines back. So it's kind of like not accepting crumbs anymore, or not accepting just something that's not going to be everything at this point, because the feminines have come very far in their ability to love themselves, and so have the masculines, but in different ways here. So there is a potential here I'm seeing. Again, you don't have to resonate with this energy, but with the Nine of Pentacles here, the Queen of Wands, the Eight of Wands, the Four of Cups, this is just where things are heading in the next few weeks. And we do have there's something better with remain positive. So for some feminines, this could be a test, again, like I said, where there's going to be a communication or some movement forward here, but some feminines may end up rejecting the masculines, and this is just, again, a necessary step, I feel, especially if you've, haven't been in separation for a very long time. That's just the way it goes. And I feel like the feminines have not done this before. They may have done this a little bit before, or kind of instilled a boundary, but this is a full-on boundary. This is a full-on kind of leaping away energy, and I'll get there in a minute, but I think this is very, again, necessary here. Okay, so when I pulled the overall energies here in the middle, we have numbing, we have the devil, the bound card, we have admired, and we have healing. So see, I feel like this is mainly the feminines, just because of what I have here. This woman here is kind of bound in this energy. This woman here is obviously this fancy looking ballerina with the butterflies, and this is about opening oneself up to love and to, again, vulnerability and emotion. And I'm seeing the feminines over here too, having the open card. We have free, we have open, we have the sun. And so it's about having this sense of freedom. And so there's a decision right now to make between, is your freedom or your sense of, I guess, self more important, or will this be a cycle that you are willing to repeat with your masculines if they're not ready yet? And that's what I'm seeing here is going to be transpiring. So with the numbing card too, I think this is just the things that have taken place, maybe numbing oneself out to the truth of things, or where things might be going here. Okay, we do have the God of battle, we have transcendence, and we have the God of action. So see, there's been a lot of battles. Obviously, you and this person, you and your twin flame, have fought a lot of battles together. And then we have the God of action, which is Thor. And I think this is really movement forward here. And then transcendence. So this is about, it's like this is you before, this is you, you know, you're just growing and transcending and moving up. And this goes for both, but there's a heavy need to eliminate codependent patterns here. Okay. So, when I looked over here at the masculine side, we have the goddess of endurance here. I'm just going to reach over as just kind of the main theme. And I'm actually today, I'm going to compare these energies here. We have the goddess of endurance here and the goddess of wisdom for the feminines here. So with the masculines, I feel like, of course, they've been going through a lot. This is more of like, it's a different energy. You know, the masculines have been more about having to deal with external things for the most part. I've been saying that for a while, but that's just what I'm seeing here. And with the Five of Pentacles, they've been going through these changes that have kicked them down. And they feel like they're on their last leg here with this Nine of Wands, which actually does represent endurance too. And we have exhausted and we have discouraged. So although they've gone through all of these things, although they've gone through all of these setbacks in their life, I feel like the healing is taking place, the wounds are mending, the the energy is stabilizing within the masculines, and I'm seeing a big transformation here for the masculines to, again, come forward to the feminines and reestablish anything that was not said before. So there's been a lot of miscommunication that the masculines feel they've had towards the feminines, that they wish they could have said this, they wish they could have said that, and that could be this numbing card too, where there's been this pattern of fear, but I feel like the masculines, although again they've been discouraged, they've been exhausted, they're just going to keep moving forward here to this Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, which is a brand new beginning here. Okay, so I have my tarot deck here, and I'm just going to pull a clarifier where I want to. And I just want to see here, the Divine Masculines here, what has been the main source of their exhaustion and their endurance here, their exhaustion, Divine Masculines. Yeah, so we have the Five of Cups here, so we've already had the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, the Two of Cups, the Page of Cups, the Hanged Man. Yeah, I feel like, again, there's been a lot of regrets around the masculine's heart and around their mind here about what they did or didn't do. This King of Swords kind of flew out in reverse like that, and I kind of feel like that's what it is too. Because this is sadness and grief and despair around love, around emotions, around feeling like they are not getting their point across here. And I'm saying that too because I see miscommunication here. So looking at the masculines too and their emotions, I'm just going to take this chunk over here. We have peaceful, we have discouraged, exhausted, but we have peaceful and receptive here. So I'm seeing two open hands. We have peaceful with receptive, and then the masculines here are also being receptive towards their feelings towards the feminine, because we have the Two of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Three of Cups. So I almost feel like right now they've been at this crossroads. They've been at this kind of stalemate here. And then there's going to be this walking away. He's stepping away. The footprints are here. And then it's like coming forward in full circle and offering something here. And the hands are here too. Okay. Right now, and I see the Four of Swords and their peaceful card. So they've endured all of these exhausted type of energies within them, and now they're ready to express the things that they did not say. And I'm saying that because too, we have the goddess, or actually the god of transformation. We have miscommunication with the Ten of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Empress. See, this is all of these emotions that they did not express. With that Page of Cups there and the Five of Cups, they feel discouraged by the things that they did not say, the miscommunications that were expressed. This man over here is seeing this number 9, and she's seeing number 6. So they weren't seeing things eye to eye, the masculine and feminine. And I feel like this is more about having the betrayal of this self. So feeling like they were not able to be expressive. They were not able to just say what's on their heart. And that's exactly where they're at now. They want to be able to be more receptive now that they've gone through all of these trials and tribulations. And the goddess of transformation here, the god of transformation and the god of endurance. So there's been so many things that have made them feel like giving up, I feel. But I do see that the masculines are having this more mature, aware part of their emotions. And they want to say too, our connection still affects me. My heart is telling me to just do it, and you inspire me. So, of course, the masculines are still thinking a lot about the feminines. They're still being very inspired by this connection and wanting to move forward. So when I say there's like a 360 kind of flip here, I feel like it's interesting because the feminines are the opposite right now. Or they will be very soon, at least up in the next maybe fall time period here. Because the feminines are kind of in this place of moving in the completely opposite direction here. And the masculines are sort of opening their hands towards the feminines, and they might even be expressing some certain things here because of this communication we might be seeing. But the feminines have had this energy about them now for a while where they're extremely independent, yes, but also just very self-assured. And because of that, they're ready to open themselves up to something that is going to be equal. There's a lot of boundaries that are being set into this relationship. So like I said in the beginning, a lot of feminines have not done that entirely. They may have kind of half done boundaries, but it hasn't been the way that they should be doing it. Okay. Just want to get a couple more for the masculines here, and then we'll move forward to the feminines. Anything else we need to know about how the masculine is feeling right now towards the feminine? How is the masculine feeling towards the feminine? How is the masculine feeling towards the feminine? Yeah, we have the Lovers and the King of Wands. So you see, it's like, and what I'm getting to is that, yeah, look at this. So we have the Lovers, we have the Sun, we have the King of Wands with the Queen of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles here. So what I see is that the Queen of Wands has come through twice here, but I see that the masculine are viewing the feminines as the Queen of Wands, which is the most independent queen of the deck. She's really someone who's going to be fiery and independent. So, and that's exactly what I see for the feminines this month, or just coming through again in the fall maybe, is that the feminines are going to be stepping into their own even more than they ever have before. And this is very attractive to the masculines for sure. But I also feel like they're quite intimidated a bit here because of this Eight of Swords. They kind of feel like they're not sure because they've been very discouraged before. Either they've come through for you before and it hasn't worked out, or they haven't been expressive towards you. And so there are a lot of reservations on the masculine side about this. With the Eight of Pentacles and you inspire me too. See, this is like, this is real, what is it? It's real like transformative love here, which is what twin flames do, of course. But it feels very mature coming from the masculine side, because it feels like, again, there's been relationships in their life that have not served them. Maybe they were superficial, and there's something about this twin flame connection to the masculine that is very inspiring. So they feel like being this King of Wands. They feel like being this fiery kind of leader type of a person. And since we have the Lovers and the Sun, again, confirming that this is because of the deep emotions that they share. And it's more of an inspiration. And before, they were not able to be receptive, and they were not able to be vulnerable. And of course, that's been a big issue here with the masculines. But I see with this miscommunication, I'm still being drawn to this because I feel like this is going in alignment here. They did not express to the extent of the inspiration that the feminines have been to them, because again, they haven't been able to, and I think they have a lot of regrets about this with this Ten of Swords and the miscommunication. Things were not spoken. Five of Cups up there, discouraged. It's like they weren't able to be that person for the feminines, and there's a lot of despair about that, and a lot of I guess, again, regrets about that. And so they feel now that they're ready to kind of come out of the cave and be more expressive and be more vulnerable. But what I'm seeing is that for some, it might be rejected. And that's just, again, I feel how this goes. I think that's just a lot of times how these connections are, is that we have to kind of circle around our lessons and our our lessons. And it doesn't mean that if the feminines reject the masculines at first that this won't happen or that this won't come back together. But that's just what I'm seeing here, okay? And I'll tell you why. For the feminines, we have, I told you here, Goddess of Wisdom. We have, and I clarified with this, we have the Justice card. We have the Six of Swords. We have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Sun. And we have the Star. And then I'm seeing we have Free with Trapped, which is unleashing the trapped energy, Vulnerable, Loving, and Safe. So there's a lot of things connecting here too, but I'll get to this first. So the feminines are really in this place right now. Some of you, for a majority of you, it's going to be about the masculine. But for others of you, you could have been, of course, in another relationship, in a karmic type of relationship that has been toxic towards you, and you felt very trapped by that situation. Either way, I see the feminines putting up like a very big wall and a barrier between not just the masculine, but it's an interesting type of a barrier, though, because it's not a barrier where they're being prideful or pushing any person away. It's the opposite, because we have boundaries with openness here. So what it is more about this vulnerable, open, safe. I feel like the feminines are becoming into their own right now. And so they feel like if they can open their heart now to somebody, they feel safe doing that. And it's kind of like when you release any type of codependent patterns within yourself, or you release any type of restrictions that you had, self-imposed restrictions in this relationship. The feminines are kind of freeing themselves from themselves, if that makes sense to you. Like they're freeing themselves from, of course, maybe the behaviors of the masculine or somebody else in their life. But either way, that's what twin flames are. They're mirrors of each other here. So it's kind of like a full circle thing, because masculines are coming to this realization that I should have done this, or I should have done that, or I should have expressed this. And the feminines are now saying to themselves that they are ready to be vulnerable and open. It just might take boundaries now to either close out a gap that's been too long. Maybe the masculines have taken too long, and now the feminines are going to put down a boundary, because I'm certainly seeing somebody here, and it definitely feels more feminine, who's going to put a very strong boundary up here. Okay, so this is clear here. Healing away from any type of karmic lesson here, or karmic entanglement, or just anything that this has been here. Really stepping into their own, okay, like I said. And what's interesting too is that these two cards flew out. We have, I feel safer in the silence, and I need more time to figure things out. And it's funny because when I was meditating on these cards, usually when I do these updates, I don't really see this coming from the feminine side. So I put them back and I reshuffled, and the exact same two cards flew out. So, this is just a confirmation here that this is definitely, a lot of feminines are going to be in this space. I feel safer in the silence. I need more time to figure things out. And it's very evident here that they are moving forward into a very, again, self-independent type of an energy. And so if the masculines were to come forward, again, I feel like a lot of feminines, some of you, depending on where you're at in your journey, you may, politely maybe set a boundary, because maybe the masculines might come through with the same type of behavior. Even though I feel like they are growing as an individual, of course we can all kind of drag in that residue from ourselves, because nobody's perfect, and especially with twin flame connections, until we can really love ourselves wholly and be whole within ourselves, we are going to end up repeating the same pattern. And so this is a major lesson for both, but that's what I'm seeing here. So when I asked how the feminines are feeling about the masculines, this is also confirming here. We have the Death card, release, with the Six of Swords, and I have the Six of Swords up here with the Wisdom again, and I feel safer in the silence. I need more time to figure things out. We have boundaries, and we have openness. See, this is like different energy to me. This is very, but what I feel is that, and we have this here too, the Judgment with the Fool and the Devil. So see how strongly this is coming through for the feminines, that very soon, if you're not here already, you're going to be at the place where you feel like you're ready to fly away. And again, not to say that you're not going to establish things with your masculine again, but because they're wanting to come forward to you. But it's just going to take that intricate balance between the two, you know, and that's where things are right now. So this is a very necessary thing. So for some of you, again, this communication that the masculines could bring, 8 of Wands here, it could possibly trigger something within you. It could possibly come to some form of choice for you to, again, set yourself free, at least for right now. And I see here this Devil with the Page of Swords. So there is somebody coming through of this Devil's energy. It came through twice. And again, I don't feel like this defines your twin flame necessarily, but we all have those karmic patterns within us and within twin flame connection. So certainly there could be some masculines that are going to come forward and have that kind of maybe immature way about them still, which is going to be where you instill your boundaries. Okay, some of you might be open to new love at this point. I did see the 3 of Pentacles a lot when I was shuffling, and since we have openness here and we have the Fool, and we have the Star and the Sun, some of you could be in this place where you are going to possibly open yourself up to a soulmate or something else, because we do have There's Something Better. There might come a time, if it hasn't come already, I'm sure there's a time for all twin flames where you're going to be presented with another relationship, and it's going to put you in that position where you have to make a decision. What do you want? Do you want this, or do you want to move forward? And, you know, that's just what I'm seeing here. So, yeah, so again, the outcome here in the next few weeks, we have the 8 of Wands, the 9 of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the 4 of Cups. Remain positive, and there's something better. So see, I do see something about moving forward, and then I see a very independent person, which seems to be more feminine, and then this rejection energy here. But another thing is that the feminines, again, I think I had said that, but it's more of like the feminines are comfortable being vulnerable, because we have the openness card here, and then we have the vulnerable. It's kind of like for some feminines, you may have felt like you were not comfortable, again, being vulnerable. You were not comfortable sharing your emotions. You were not comfortable, you know, being open with your heart because you felt like maybe it would be hurt again, or maybe it would be stepped on again. But what I see here is that it's actually the feminines are more vulnerable than ever, but it's in a different way. It's in a very evolved way. So it's not in a way, again, where you're just going to have your, it's in a boundary way. So it's in a way where you have a set boundary, and then you're able to open the door to the masculine or to somebody else coming through for you. But it's going to be in a very evolved, mature, independent way where you're able to express things freely and not get hurt by the things that somebody says to you because you've grown. And so it's a very healthy, very loving type of an energy that the feminines have. And that really is, when you set your boundaries like that, you do give off more love that way, because it's self-love. And that's what I'm seeing here. Okay. Anything else for the feminines? Yeah, the feminines are hesitant. They're afraid a little bit here, but it's again, it's being safe and sheltered and protected from anybody hurting you, but at the same time having that emotional maturity here. So we have the 10 of Cups with the 6 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands. See, it's that very guarded energy here to allow somebody in. It's this reciprocity is the only way that I feel the feminines are going to allow things back in, okay? Because of these miscommunications that have been happening here. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull, again, what could possibly be coming through in the next coming weeks or so for the feminines and the masculines together. Feminines and masculines next coming weeks or so. See, there it is again. Five of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. There's going to be a truth about somebody having to possibly turn their back or having to possibly disconnect. Six of Cups. There's going to be, yeah, there, Four of Cups. So we have the Ace of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. This is definitely speaking to rejection right here. And here's the Six of Cups, the past resurfacing. So, I mean, I feel like that's really what it is. It's coming primarily from the feminines putting this boundary, not so much the masculines are going to be doing the rejecting. And I just want to say one more time, it just means that this is a cycle. Maybe the cycle is only going to be for a month or something. Maybe it's just going to be a temporary type of rejection or temporary moving forward in order to balance the scales a little bit more. It doesn't mean you're rejecting this person forever, but I feel like that's what this is coming through, is that there's going to be some truth spoken. There's going to be a possible need to assess the situation. The resurfacing of your twin flame might cause you to go into a decision-making mode on what you would like to do moving forward here. Okay, so expect that. I would say the masculines are going to be making some action forward to clarify, again, what was not said, okay? Yep, there's the Ace of Wands. This is the actions that the masculine could take here. We have the Two of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles. So that actually appears to me like the masculines, again, want to reciprocate something. They do want to give you this Six of Pentacles that you are seeking. This Three of Pentacles would be cooperation. So I feel like with the Ten of Pentacles, too, and the King of Pentacles is coming through very solid energy here. They might come through with this Ace of Wands, which I've seen again here, which is a passionate new beginning here. Actions from the feminine. Yeah. So I'm just confirming again, because I just want to let you know. We have the Eight of Cups here and the Death card when I'm asking where the feminines are going. So it's very interesting, but it's coming through stronger than it has in a very long time here. And here's the Knight of Wands. So for some groups of you, the masculines, again, could be coming through. And it might be, again, a miscommunication, because we have miscommunication there, and we have this here. Some of you might think that the masculines are only coming for one thing, or they're just going to do the same thing over again. But I'm really getting that it actually is a lot of growth on their part. So just take your time to figure out what you want and if you can trust the masculines again. But that's coming through very evidently and very strongly, that the feminines are going to be doing some form of rejecting here. That's going to have to balance the scales out after this resurfacing. Okay, so I really hope this helped you guys. I just want to do this update. I wish you all the best, and I hope you have a great weekend. Much love.